The United States of America, a beacon of hope for over 2 centuries, is at a pivotal moment in history. The decline of the American empire is not just about geopolitics or economic trends. It's a story of how this shift will directly impact the lives of its citizens. Today, we'll delve into the far-reaching consequences of America's fall from grace and how this will affect the average American, from rising costs of living to societal collapse. We begin with a sobering reality. Empires are not eternal. Like the Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and the British Empire before it, the United States is now following a similar trajectory of decline. But unlike previous empires, the collapse of the U.S. will have unprecedented consequences because of its global interconnectedness. This isn't a distant concern. It's already happening. The dollar's weakening grip, political dysfunction, and a fractured society signal that the once mighty empire is crumbling. For the average American, the fallout won't just be felt on the news, but at their dinner tables, in their communities, and in their daily lives. Let's start with the economy. For decades, the US dollar has been the backbone of the global financial system. It has allowed Americans to enjoy cheaper imports, easy credit, and a relatively stable economy. But as countries like China, Russia, and members of BRICS shift away from the dollar, this era is coming to an end. Without the dollar as the world's reserve currency, inflation will soar. The price of goods, from gasoline to groceries, will skyrocket. Imagine paying double or even triple for essentials like food, rent, and transportation. For the average worker, wages will not keep up. Jobs that once provided stability will vanish as companies cut costs or relocate overseas. The dream of upward mobility, the cornerstone of the American dream, will become a distant memory. The U.S. national debt, already at a staggering $33 trillion, will spiral out of control. Servicing this debt will consume more of the federal budget, leaving little for infrastructure, healthcare, or education. For the average American, this means pothole-ridden roads, underfunded schools, and hospitals that can no longer afford to provide adequate care. Social Security and Medicare, lifelines for millions, will face insolvency, leaving retirees and the disabled without support. Income inequality in America is already among the highest in the developed world. As the economy collapses, this divide will grow even wider. The wealthy will retreat to gated communities, protected from the chaos, while the middle and working classes face increasing desperation. Homelessness, already a crisis in many cities, will reach levels unseen in modern history. Tent cities will become permanent fixtures in urban and suburban areas alike. Crime will rise as people turn to theft and violence to survive. In the healthcare system, millions more will lose insurance as costs rise and employers cut benefits. Preventable illnesses will go untreated, and life expectancy, already declining in the U.S., will plummet further. Education, once a path to a better future, will suffer as schools close or cut programs due to lack of funding. Generations of children will grow up without the tools they need to thrive in an increasingly competitive world. The U.S. government, plagued by partisanship and corruption, will become even less effective in addressing these crises. Gridlock in Congress will mean delayed or inadequate responses to natural disasters, economic recessions, and social unrest. For the average American, this will translate to longer waits for assistance, whether it's rebuilding after a hurricane or accessing unemployment benefits. Trust in institutions will erode, and more people will turn to extreme ideologies in search of solutions. As the situation worsens, the government may resort to authoritarian measures to maintain order. Surveillance will increase, protests will be met with militarized police, and freedoms once taken for granted will be curtailed. This will create a chilling effect on dissent, leaving ordinary citizens feeling powerless in the face of injustice. The very fabric of democracy, already fraying, will be at risk of unraveling entirely. American culture has long been rooted in ideals of community and cooperation, but these values are eroding. Social media, consumerism, and political polarization have created a society more divided than ever. For the average American, this means a loss of trust in neighbors and institutions. Loneliness and isolation will become widespread, fueling mental health crises and societal breakdown. In the past, faith and shared values provided a moral compass for American society. Today, secularism and individualism dominate, leaving a void where community and purpose once thrived. Without a guiding set of principles, the pursuit of wealth and pleasure has replaced meaningful connections and altruism. This spiritual emptiness will contribute to the rise of addiction, depression, and violence. Decades of underinvestment have left America's infrastructure in disrepair. Bridges collapse, water systems fail, and the power grid teeters on the brink of failure. For the average person, this means longer commutes, unsafe drinking water, and frequent blackouts. Climate change will exacerbate these issues, with hurricanes, wildfires, and floods becoming more frequent and severe. Government responses will be slow and inadequate, leaving communities to fend for themselves. For the average American, this means losing homes, livelihoods, and even lives to disasters that could have been mitigated with proper planning. The end of the American empire will not be a dramatic event, but a slow, painful decline. Life for the average American will become a daily struggle, defined by scarcity, insecurity, and despair. But amid this chaos, there is also an opportunity, a chance to rebuild, to learn from past mistakes, and to create a society that values equality, sustainability, and community. Whether America seizes this opportunity remains to be seen. The decline of the United States is not just a political or economic story. It is a deeply personal one. It's about the mother who can no longer afford groceries, the student who gives up on college, and the worker who loses their job. Empires rise and fall, but the true measure of a society is how it cares for its people in times of crisis. As the United States faces its darkest hour, the question remains, will it find a way to rise again, or will it become a cautionary tale for future generations? The story of America's decline is still being written, but for the average American, the ending feels closer than ever. Thanks for watching, and if you're ready to keep exploring and uncovering the truth, subscribe and be part of this growing community. Leave a comment with your thoughts or ideas for future topics. Until next time, keep pushing for a better tomorrow.